Welcome back to Not Quite My Tempo with Chris. We're back today with another slightly late review, and that is for Backrooms. Directed by Kane Parsons, after a therapist patient disappears into a dimension beyond reality, she must venture into the unknown to save him. I only really heard about this movie a few weeks ago. I had heard little things about it and the name of it as a creepy horror concept with these mysterious rooms that seem to have come out of nowhere, and exploring them, trying to figure out what's up and what's in there, where they came from. That kind of eeriness and mystery was interesting to me, even as someone who isn't the biggest horror fan. And I had not heard of the YouTube series either, also made by Kane Parsons, but I think that's a really cool part of this movie as well, with Kane Parsons being this 20-year-old filmmaker that made something so original and beloved on YouTube, and is now getting the opportunity to expand on it with working with A24, and stars like Chiwetel Ejiofor, getting a budget to bring this vision to a feature film. And I still haven't seen Kane Parsons' YouTube series, but this movie made me more interested to check those out. The Backrooms concept and mystery is made very compelling here, although it did lose me a bit later on in the film. To start with the good here, the filmmaking here from Kane Parsons and bringing the Backrooms to life is really impressive. The big thing with this concept is that atmosphere and eeriness of the rooms with that mystery of what they actually are. The concept is so interesting and creepy because of that unknown part of it that gets your brain guessing and wondering. It's these rooms you discover that are pretty simple and plain looking while also looking totally off and strange. They seem pretty empty and quiet, but also all the strange details with them, like the construction of everything, the random furniture and room layouts, the way they seem to go on forever. It is that mix of being so simple and so mysterious that really makes the idea get under your skin. You start feeling desperate to know what these rooms are and where they came from, what could really be going on down here and what's really going on. It makes these scenes where Chiwetel Ejiofor's character is going through the rooms and exploring, trying to find answers, so terrifying and tense. You want to find out what's going on, you're interested in exploring more of this place, but also the unknown of what's really down there, and what can really be around every corner, what all these seemingly random details mean. It makes the mystery of all that really stressful all the time, and every time he goes into another room, that feeling of going deeper into the unknown really builds the scares. And when it comes to the filmmaking here, Kane Parsons brings this concept to life really powerfully. The atmosphere brought to the rooms themselves is pretty brilliant because it does sound so simple of just these strange rooms with random occurrences in them and items, but the production design and direction of these sequences in these sets brings the creepiness. Starting with the set design, the design of these rooms and the layouts right away makes you unnerved. The pale yellow wallpapers, the transitions from very harsh lighting into other rooms and hallways that are very dark, the way random objects will be sitting around, the layouts of the rooms making no sense. You take your first look at the first room and you already feel like something is very wrong. And again, it's that mystery and that general sense of uneasiness that really enhances that feeling as well. Then you have the camera work that really gets to be demonstrated very early on. There's a bit of found footage format with experiencing the rooms from the perspective of someone recording. I feel like this format is used very effectively at points to put you in the perspective of different characters to experience the rooms in a different way. I'm glad it wasn't used for all these sequences though. Seeing the characters explore the rooms and tracking them as they go deeper, getting a mix of more wide shots with some claustrophobic angles and tunnels and corridors contributes to the unpredictability. Other things like sound, how quiet some of these scenes are, and then also when you do hear a sound, something moves, you feel how terrifying it is because you just have no idea what's down there. The movie really makes you feel like you're going down these rooms with the characters into the unknown. Even when it's not using footage from their perspective, Kane Parsons brought some great thrills with these rooms and exploring them. Some more positives are the performances. Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renat Reinsve plays the two leads here. They both bring the terror and make these characters that aren't the most interesting more engaging to watch in these sequences. They bring some great energy to the screen that you get even more locked into these sequences. When it comes to some of my problems with this movie, it comes mostly later on when the reveals and finale happens. The reveal and what the rooms are, I feel it could have been explored more, and it's a bit of an underwhelming answer. And then the finale of the movie and what the threat ends up being also gets very stale, and I don't think was as creepy or interesting as the rooms themselves. Once you get into the finale, I found it much less exciting. I also think some of the character moments and how some thematic ideas tie in felt rushed and forced. There's a particular scene later on that really didn't have the impact it needed both with the horror and how it tied into the character elements. The last 20 minutes or so of this movie do bring it down for me. I think there's some great horror for a lot of the movie. There's some interesting ideas set up with the characters and what it can mean for the backrooms and the horror concept, but ultimately the finale gets less clever and the character depth and twists fall short. I still enjoyed a lot of this movie as a horror experience. If you have interest in this idea, I would check it out. It's really cool for such a young filmmaker from the online space to get such a high-profile project like this. This movie has a lot to offer. It can be really unique and eerie, although it does have its problems. I give Backrooms a 76 out of 100. I'll be back very soon on Not Quite My Tempo with Chris for a review of Masters of the Universe, and then on Saturday I'll be back for a retro review of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and until then, enjoy.